So it would appear that the debate has begun about what is perpetual motion. And this began with a video that I made a couple of videos back on the Atmos clock, which is a clock that runs on thermal energy. And I got a comment from somebody named Hendrik who said, well, you're an idiot, or implied that I'm an idiot, and then I should take the clock and show it to a physics professor, and then the physics professor would explain to me the law of thermodynamics. And after the physics, he or she was done laughing at me, they would, educate me, And I've been posting videos for about 7 years now, mostly on the topic of of scientific research into the homeopathic remedy, and it seems to just drive people who characterize themselves as skeptics nuts. They really go crazy over this stuff. And I've been insulted. I've had some, people say, why do you put up with this stuff? Well, I'll tell you something. These as insulting and as painful as it is sometimes, I've really learned a lot from it because it forces me to go back and defend my point of view, right? So in that way, people like this have become my teachers. And nevertheless, I really do appreciate it when somebody makes a nice comment here. So anyway, I did a video on the response that Hendrik, some of the responses that were made to the video. Now I did a video of myself doing a video. And now I'm doing a video of myself doing a video of myself doing a video of myself. So anyway, here's a latest comment from Hendrik. Says, perpetual motion is a condition in which work is continuously done without an external supply of energy. Webster's. The Atmos clock is powered by heat and or air pressure. Okay, well I said that in the first video, Hendrik. Machines which access energy from outside power sources are sometimes referred to as perpetual motion machines, although they also do not meet the standard criteria for the name. Wikipedia. Well, Wikipedia? I mean, who died made Wikipedia God? Made them the authority on what the name. There's nothing in the name perpetual motion that says anything. There's no reference there. There's no reference there to anything regarding an external power supply. Perpetual means that it's unending. It just keeps going. All right? So, perpetual, what about a perpetual illumination? Like tritium or radioactivity. Now you can say, well, it has a half-life and it runs down and everything. But you probably could set up theoretically, using radioactivity, radioactive power supply, nuclear power supply. You could set up a little Atmos clock. I mean, for all the dumbos in the world, what do they know? You tell them it runs on thermal energy and they believe you, right? I mean, I don't know what it runs on. Really? I mean, I'm just repeating what I'm told, and so are these skeptics. They're just repeating what they're told. See? That could be powered by something entirely different. We'd never know it. Like, could be nuclear powered. Couldn't it? So, what the hell is that? And then the ultimate point being is that the universe is a perpetual motion machine. So, But here Hendricks says, the universe is not a perpetual motion machine either. It will end. Listen. A skeptic made a claim. A skeptic made an assertion. Well, see, skeptics don't understand what skeptics are. He doesn't understand what skepticism is. And so he doesn't understand what science is. You can't understand. He doesn't know he doesn't understand science. He needs to go and take a class in science from a real scientist, not some high school science teacher or somebody who's just basically playing back the same stupidity that everybody's had. He needs to go and learn how to think. I know what he could do. He could watch my videos and he'd learn how to think, maybe. Learn how to think on his own. You know, that's the problem here, is that nobody's thinking on their own. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are people that think on their own, and I'm not the only one. Try to be humble, John. But he just said the universe will end. Well, how do you know that, Hendrick? How do you know when it began? How do you know when it's going to end? You don't know, and you have no proof that it's going to end. In fact, if anything, it appears as if the universe is speeding up. See, here's the problem with skepticism. There's actually different kinds of skepticism. There's local skepticism, and then there's global skepticism. You see. And the skeptics that you hear from, that we always hear from, the guys like Hendrick, who are posting stuff here, they are the local skeptics, the local magi. By local, it means they have an event horizon. A global thinking does not have an event horizon. It doesn't chop things off. It's to what it can't see is not where the thinking ends. Okay? So that's the point here, is that he has to always think in terms of an end. But what comes after the end? Then what? What came before the start? What was that? What was before the beginning? You know, I hear these guys. I hear these guys talking about arguing, you know, creationists arguing with intelligent design people, and I can't follow the argument. How do you follow an argument like that? They're both talking about the same thing. They both don't know. Nobody knows. Read Parmenides. You know, this is the age-old question. It's probably one of the most intelligent people who have ever lived was Parmenides. He was Socrates' teacher. It was Parmenides. Hey, Parmenides, the Eleatic school on the Italian coast. He was a Greek that lived in Italy. He was an iatromantis, spiritual healer. And the only scrap of literature that we have for Parmenides is his dissertation on nature, the nature of being, on what we call, I guess you'd call it ontology. Okay, the first example of ontology. And the point being is we can't comprehend these things. We can't comprehend beginning and end of such universal concepts as the universe. Okay? You know, so of course the universe is a perpetual motion machine. And the Atlas clock is a perpetual motion machine. Webster can think whatever he wants to about it, but it's not there in the definition. And this is the point that I'm coming across again and again and again, is that people have to twist these definitions around to fit, you know, their own construct of limited thinking, to fit within the event horizon, to fit within this side of the event horizon. Let me just give you a real quick example. I know I'm going a little long here, but let me give you a little example of what it is that I'm talking about. How old is the universe? They say 13.7 billion years old, right? Okay, well, how big is it? They say it's about, you know, I don't think that they really know, but they say it's 96 billion light years across. Now, I haven't met anybody who, on receiving those two pieces of information, has said, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Because they say negates thinking. You understand what I'm saying? The authorities say, you know, and they go, oh, okay, whatever you say, even though it doesn't add up. I mean, think about it. If the diameter is 96 billion light years across, and the radius is 48 billion light years, right? The observable ends of the universe. Well, light travels, a light year is the distance light will travel in a year. Okay? Think about it. So do you see where I'm going with this? If the universe is only 13 billion years old, that's the farthest that we should be able to see. That would mean it would only be 26 billion or 28 billion years, 20 billion light years in diameter. But they say it's 96 billion. So in other words, their own observations aren't adding them. How do they know this? Oh, they talk about redshift. So they have a theory for, you know, there's this theory. A perpetual motion machine is a theoretical machine. Therefore, it's fiction to begin with in their minds. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's fiction to begin with in their minds. They can't conceive, they won't conceive of a perpetual motion machine because it doesn't fit within their event horizon.